All right, all right, all right. Episode number 4. What does success mean? With special guest Eduardo Manuel. I'm bringing him in. Give me a couple minutes. Adding in Eduardo right now. There he is.
What up, bro?
What's up? How's everything?
Good, good, good. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know. Alrighty, well, we're here on the drive. This is episode number 4. What does success mean? With our special guest Eduardo Manuel. I'm
Hola.
just going to give it a couple minutes just to have some people come in, comment, like, share it. We're going to have a great show. I have a bunch of people come in. We already have 6 viewers. Julie says hello. Can you see the comments?
Hola. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Alrighty. It's 7:56. We were going to start at 8, but we're going to cut it and start a little bit early because we wanted to make sure this time that the show didn't have any technical difficulties like last time, but
Mhm.
we made it through. Eduardo's currently in Texas right now. What part of Texas are you in?
I'm in Dallas.
Eduardo's in Dallas, Texas, and tell us what you're doing there.
I'm actually finishing up a training to be certified finance manager.
There you go.
Hmm.
Eduardo is gonna be a finance manager. After a bunch of years in sales, he made it to the next step. A lot
Yeah.
of a lot of people look for that step, especially from sales. Um, Going to that next level, the pay grade is much better, I would say, and it's just you're a manager finally. How long did
Yeah.
it take you to get there?
I mean, actually, this month, 4 years ago, I
Oh,
was doing valet parking outside, where I work right now, and decided to actually apply. And here I am 4 years later, becoming one of the managers there. So
see, that's the success story. You go from valet parking, which his nickname, they called him valet when he was in sales. Now he went made it all the way up to the finance manager who's going to be making the big money, and then hopefully, becoming a GM or a GSM or whatever's in the future. All right,
yeah.
so let's get this started. Episode 4, what does success mean? Uh, it's a great question. So the first thing I want to do is introduce you. Eduardo, you're a entrepreneur, you're a finance manager, going to be within the next couple days officially a finance manager, and you're a mentor. A little bit about how we met. Once I applied at the store that he currently works at now, um, I was a green pea. I didn't know anything about sales. I was not in the same industry. So when I went there, he would always make fun of me any chance he could get and bust my balls. But he
I'm
was there
cruel.
for a
I'm
while.
cruel.
Yeah, he was there for a while, and he taught me everything. He was actually my mentor. He was my mentor to sales, and he's the one who helped me um, you know, get through the whole process of actually making it in the car business. Yesterday, I was watching a show with Frank J. Lopes, and he had said that the failure rate is 76% turnover within a year. That's crazy, right? And now to see that we made it, it's going to be, a great future ahead. So now tell us a little bit about yourself. I kind of described what you do, but uh, let's hear it from you.
Uh, for everybody that is watching, um, I'm from Peru. I came to this country when I was 14. Um, since that age, technically, I actually started working off the books, obviously, because it's against the law. But I did what I had to do. I did what I had to do to help my family. Uh, Went to school. Right after school, actually got lucky and unlucky, I always say, because lucky on the way that I always found good positions on good jobs that actually paid me well on that particular point of time. And I said unlucky at the same time because thanks to that, I actually wasn't so into going to school, and but again, I had to do what I had to do to help my family and everything. Um, I was into music as well, a musician. I had a band. I did a little bit of everything. I work on a lawyer's firm. I work on a recreation department, taking care of seniors with dementia. Um, then then I did this sales right now that I'm doing, and now finance manager. So I did a little bit of everything, and I like the fact that I get to help a lot of people on the process. So yeah.
Awesome. That's yeah, that's awesome. Let's get into some of the questions. Gave you a nice little introductory of who we have on the show today. Our first question is this is a broad question. It's the topic. It's what does success mean? And I'm going to leave out a certain word of a certain part of that question, and I'll explain
Mhm.
after. But what does success mean?
Um, I mean, if you actually go by definition, is when you actually accomplish a goal or a mission that you actually had. Uh, to me, goes along with that, but it's not just about accomplishing just one thing. Because when you accomplish one thing, that just mean that you just accomplished it, and period. You have to constantly have goals and constantly uh, accomplish all these things that you actually have in mind, and that what actually makes you successful. And like I was talking to you before, now it also has to do with perception because a lot of people think that, oh, money is being successful, and not really. I mean, like, money is great.
It
I'm
helps.
like,
It helps.
it helps, but it's really not everything. I mean, like,
And I'm
I,
glad you brought that up because what I was holding off was part of that question is what does success mean, but is what does success mean to you? Because it's all perception.
yeah, yeah,
If
definitely.
you ask me compared to you, or you compared to Martin Roberts on, compared to anybody who's watching right now, success means different things to different people, and it's all
Yeah.
about perception. Um,
Yeah.
but okay, so let me rephrase the question now. Now, what does it mean to you after we define what success means?
To me, being successful is actually being where I am right now. I'm in a happy state. I'm in a comfortable state. Um, how can I put this? There's two types of ways of being successful. One is the one that everybody knows, make a lot of money, work here, and do your best. But then you also have the personal success, and that's where I'm at, and I think that's the most important one. Being successful on how you feel internally. And yeah.
So you're saying that success is not this gold chain?
No, but I have to get one. I have to get one. It looks.
I know everybody has to comment on that. Everybody seems to like it. I mean, I didn't wear it for one episode, and didn't get as many views, so maybe I should start wearing it a lot more. I want to read a couple comments and say hi to a couple people that's in. Adriana, my aunt, is in, saying hi. Jesus, what's up? Our longtime buddy. Martin Robert, again, you're always on. Julie Lopes is on. Hello. Bill is on. What's going on, Bill? Let's see.
I want to say hi to a couple of people that actually
Go
see
ahead.
that I wasn't even expecting to see them here. But Carla Carrera, I haven't seen you in a long time. Hello, Jose Aguilar, Jorge Sarango. I saw John Wiro, Daniel, Gregory Peer, one of my customers. Actually, a pretty cool guy. Uh, Hello to everybody. Thank you for
Yeah.
watching.
Derek is on. What's going on, Derek? How's everything?
Yo,
Um,
Derek.
Alrighty, so let's get into another question that actually has to do with what does success mean. Let's tie perception, right? That's the key word here. What does
Yeah,
success mean to you? You meaning you have a perceived way of seeing things, and everybody's different. So again, let's go back to perception. Perception and let's connect that to sales. Okay, and let's connect it specifically to what we talk about or what we deal with a day-to-day basis. How does
Mm-hmm.
a customer's point of view or perception, dealing with customers every day,
Mm-hmm.
how do you see different perceptions of different customers? Like, what? Give me a little scenario.
I mean, like, what do I see in the customers or on the customers' perceptions on what do you mean?
So, okay, perception, right, is somebody's point of view of what they see things. How does that relate to sales with
I know, but
customers?
you're talking about my perception or what do I think the customer's perception is?
Customers' perception.
All right. I mean, like, customer perception, what the customers, I'm pretty sure they think.
But how does it specifically affect sales?
I love you, Eduardo. I love you guys too. I'm reading the comments. Sorry. I mean,
How does
like, to
perception
me,
specifically affect sales?
yeah. I mean, like, perception is everything. I mean, like, with the customers, if they don't perceive that you're getting a great deal or they're not being treated fairly, they're just not gonna get the product from you. Period. It doesn't matter what you sell, and sometimes nobody actually looks at it this way, but you do sales every single day of your life. Even if you don't sell a product, you have to sell yourself. So it's all about perception. So if the customers on that particular topic that we're talking, if they don't actually feel that they're actually being treated right or they actually have a fair deal, because that's what we really want. They want a fair deal.
Right. And
Uh,
and Julie asks it the way I should have asked it because I can't speak tonight. But how does a customer's perception of a successful sale affect the sale? So that's what we went over. But that's the right way to ask
Okay,
it.
okay, okay, I get that. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously that way it makes everything easier because then you see, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's been doing it for a while.
Not
If he's
bullshitting
successful
me.
at this, it's because he's doing something right. So
Right.
obviously they're gonna have a little more trust, and that's what it's all about. If they trust you, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Diego
and
Apodaca
you know
is
what I mean,
here.
like that's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. We could say it. We're in the business to make a profit. I'm not here to give away a car if I don't have to, right?
Of course.
At the end of
Yeah.
the day, business is business, and whether you're in finance, whether you're in sales, whether you're the owner, it doesn't matter who it is, the marketer, you're in it to make a profit. And if somebody,
Of course.
if somebody wants to give you, X amount of dollars more than what it should be, then, and you're not, and you brought value to the customer, so
Yeah,
be it.
and that's the main thing, value. I mean, like for somebody that that doesn't see the value, like let's say we had experience in cars. So let's say we're selling a car that has a touchscreen, but this customer really doesn't see the value on the touchscreen. It doesn't matter what you do to explain or how good you are of a salesperson. You cannot put value into something that they don't see value on. Period.
Absolutely.
But if they actually see the value on what you're talking about, and now you bring it to the next level, now you hit a home run.
Absolutely. My aunt says, bullshit, you better had not made a profit from me. Of course we did. Of course we did. All right, guys, I want you guys to keep commenting, but please ask us questions, whether it's about success, the car business, or anything in general. I need the questions to keep on coming. If you're new here, if I don't know you or whatever, just ask questions. We'll be happy to answer it. Um, so again, perception. Let's wrap up with the perception side. Perception is everything. It's everything in sales. Dealers put out ads for Labor Day weekend sales or even the end of the year sales. Now, do you really think that there's going to be sales, or is that ad? Is this nothing? It's just for perception. You could get the
It's
same. You could get the same deal at the end of the year compared to the beginning of the year. It's the same car, same deal. There's no different in profit. There's nothing different. It's all a perception.
now let's just make it a little bit more clear there. You can get the same deal as a dealership at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year, but the figures always will change because incentives do change as well.
Right,
So
right.
So
That
yes,
on the more technical
as
side, incentives do change. Um,
uh, but yeah,
but
we're
with
talking to a lot of
customers,
people that are
right,
watching us. Yes, I mean, like on the fact that there is a 4th of July. If you come the 6th of July, you're gonna get, you can get the same deal. Not because it's not 4th of July anymore. You know
right,
what I mean?
right. You can
Unless there
still
is a
get it.
specific program that like helped at that particular time. But besides that, the dealership is gonna actually help you get the best deal as possible when you actually fight for it.
Absolutely. Okay, so going back into success, um, let me read a comment here. Unless the dealer has a volume goal or gross goal based upon monthly or yearly overall goals and brand incentives. Correct. Correct. Let's see what else some people said.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I meant. That as per the dealership, on their numbers, they're willing to give you the same deal. But obviously, as a consumer, those numbers will be different. Even if it's the same selling price, even if it's the same monthly payments, as per the dealership, the numbers are actually going to look differently. So
If it's a $2,000 loser here, it's a $2,000 loser, whether the incentives are coming back or not.
correct,
Right.
correct.
Yeah,
So
that's the best way to
you
put
might have a $2,000 negative deal for the dealership, but and you get another customer 3 months later and it's still a $2,000 negative, but you're paying more a month. It doesn't make sense for the customer, but that's just the way it works.
it. Yeah, and then you get into interest and all that crazy stuff, but we're not going to get into
Yeah,
that right now.
yeah, correct.
Marty's awfully quiet. I want him to comment. I don't know what he's doing. He usually is on a rampage. Let's see if he has any good questions for us. While we wait for people to ask more questions, guys, please ask more questions. Let's get into another question that I have for you. What does it take to become successful?
I mean, like, there is one quote that says, "Success doesn't happen to you; it happens because of you." And technically, if you don't put effort and you don't actually if you're not persistent, you're just not gonna get there. Now you have to be also careful because there's you can put it this way, like say you are looking for a treasure and you know what a treasure is and you are digging and digging and digging and it's 3 years now and you keep digging and you know what, I can't find it. You're gonna get the actual guy that is always pushing you and try to be optimistic. It's like, oh, but what if it's in like within 2 feet? Why are you gonna quit now? You're already there for 3 years. Keep going. You might actually find it. And then you think like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I've been doing it for so long. Let me keep doing it. And then you put another 3 years to it, and you keep digging, and you don't find the treasure yet. And now you're ready to quit. And then you get the optimistic again. Oh no, but you did it for 6 years. What if it's like within like a feet now? Yeah, you know what? You're right. And now, how many years that actually has to go by for you to realize that, you know what? I'm like, was it worth it all this time? You know what I mean? I could have done so many things on those years that actually will fulfill a different part of your success. And I say a little bit of experience because before selling or becoming a finance manager right now, I was into music. Like I said, I had a band and everything, and I put everything to make that goal come true. To make that dream come true. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't make it. I mean, like I had a lot of followers and this and that, but it wasn't enough. And that's actually how I got to start selling cars, because I was like, you know what, I'm broke right now because I invested all my money to actually try to push my music, and you know what, let me make some money. I'm gonna save money, and I'm gonna get back
Get
to
back
it.
into it, yeah.
But as I actually went along, I saw different opportunities, and that's why you have to be careful. I mean, like, I understand that you have a goal and you want to make sure you accomplish it, and that's great. I mean, like, but you also have to be careful that if you see different opportunities, like passing by you, you might, might want to consider actually take it,
Right.
because now I haven't give up on my dream, and I'm saying, people, whoever is watching, don't give up on your dream, on your goals, but you got to put priorities, and you have to be also realistic. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's great, but what about this? What if you're digging for 6 years and you're a centimeter away from that gold?
Hmm.
Do you take a chance of giving it up and you're right next to the gold, or do you say, "Fuck it, let me try this opportunity, and maybe this will take me to the goal that I'm looking for"?
Yeah, and what if you actually dig and there is not there, but you say, you know what, you digged already, so let me keep digging, and now you're 90 years old and you finally
Oh,
make it. And like,
that's
yes, I made it. I'm 90 years old. I'm like, what are you gonna do?
you're dead.
Like,
You're
you know what I
dead.
mean? So,
You wasted your
was it
life
worth
away.
it? I
Right.
mean, like on a very small chance, yes, you're gonna be totally worth it because you spend like most of your life trying to accomplish, and you finally accomplish it. So yes, it's a good feeling, but how much other things you could have accomplished in that time? You know what I
So
mean? So
when is that point that you say, when's that pivot point where it's like, all right, maybe I should just take a different path?
it's that you have to work on yourself. You have to, when you hit a plateau, it doesn't matter what you're actually doing. When you hit a wall, you just gotta actually work on yourself. And if you work on yourself, you actually, do some thinking, you're gonna actually come to your own conclusions. Don't let anybody push you to do something. Even if it sounds great, don't let anybody else push you to do something that maybe you're thinking differently, because they don't know how you're feeling. You know what I mean? Everybody likes to put ideas into your head, and that's why a lot of people think that success means money. I have to have like a yacht. I have to have a mansion. I have to
Rolex.
have a gold chain. I have to have a Rolex. Uh, but listen, I'm not into watches. I'm not, you know what I mean?
Hey,
And
hey,
everybody has,
you have your citizen. I'm cool with that.
and I'm happy with it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's the thing. I'm like, I saw it, I wanted, I got it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Now,
yeah.
sometimes you see something you wanted and you can try to get it, and for more than you do, you're not able to get it. Now, having that concept in mind, um, is it okay to be number two? For example, you say, oh no, if you're not number one, you're not successful. Are you though? Is that true? I mean, like, to
No,
you, who's the best rapper right
rapper.
now? Yes.
I'm not really into rap. I mean, I'm not into rap to be honest with you. I don't really listen to that.
Who's the best DJ? You got into that. Who's the best DJ
Okay, I
to you?
mean, I would say that I have a preference for um Afrojack over Tiesto. You know,
Afrojack.
yeah.
Okay. Does that mean Tiesto is not successful?
No, because he is. But
But
you're
but
going
that's
to
my
the
point.
point. Yeah, you're going to the
Is
point where is that everybody could be successful together. It doesn't have to be one or two or three.
yes, and you can be successful in your own way.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So,
I'm getting a lot of questions and feedback here. Oh gosh. All right. I'm going to start from where I left off. I have two questions about the car business that I would like to answer and touch about a little bit.
mhm.
Martin Robert says, I personally worked at four dealerships and even managed BDC, which was something I really enjoyed since my job was making the doors spin and less about problem solving with clients. But how do you deal with the constant stress, pressures, and long hours of the car business? How do you stave off of being burnt out?
And I think it's all about attitude. If you let it bother you, if you let it stress you out, then guess what? It's gonna stress you out.
It's gonna chew you up and spit you out.
Correct. I mean, like, again, I work in a dealership. We do so many hours, and it's all about what you do with your time. And again, stuff happens. You know that a customer, calling for some BS that you don't even care is something just ridiculous, and you're in the middle of four deals, and like it's one thing after the other, and you get to a point like, oh. But now, when you get to that point, what do you do about it? Do you take a deep breath in? Do you act on it, or you actually just take a minute, take a walk, relax, and just actually try to find the best way to actually resolve this issue? Or listen, if it's not that important, it's not that important. Like I always say, if the problem has a solution, don't worry, because it has a solution.
Right.
Now, if the problem or the issue it doesn't have a solution, don't worry, because it doesn't matter how much you worry or how much you actually do. You already said it. It doesn't have a solution. So there's no point of actually stressing out over something that is not worth stressing out. Period.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I could talk about the car business being burnt out. I've been burnt out. I mean, Eduardo's seen me. I've been in negative places, and it comes to a point where you're so frustrated with everything and everybody that even when the customer, is a little bit of a tough customer, I would go to Eduardo, bro, I can't, like, you got to help me out. And he would calm me down. I go for a walk. He'd talk to the customer, whatever it is that needed to be done to get the deal done, or whatever it might be to help the customer. Being burnt out is a serious problem. I know I was watching a broadcast last night, Get More Frank Live, from Frank Lopes, and he was actually going about that specific topic of being burnt out and how to prevent it, or different ways of getting around it and why people are getting burnt out. It was a really good episode. I would follow him there. Check him out. Get More Frank. He's got great stuff about the car business and about sales in general. Let me read some more comments. Adriana Scharfman says, the happiest people are the people that help others and treat people well.
Hey, listen, that goes back to what we said at the beginning. That being successful is not always making money. If you want to be the best shoe shiner, you know, out there, and that makes you happy, listen, by all means, be the best shoe shiner. But like, that's what makes you happy, and that's where actually, if that's your goal, I mean, like, if you accomplish that, you actually become the best shoe shiner. You're going to be happy, and you're going to be successful. I mean, like I said, it doesn't mean money all the time. So yeah.
There's a lot of comments going on here. One of your friends commented. Did you see what they said?
Um, I'm trying, but at the same time,
It says, I
uh,
think, I can't pronounce the name. It's Jam Wira.
Janwiro,
Yeah.
yeah, that's.
They said, I
I think
think
it's
it's,
how you
yeah,
dig
go
for
ahead.
your
You could read
goal.
it.
Yeah, I think it's how you dig for your gold. You have to change ways if not working right. Improve on every foot under, and the tools that you're using is not just dig, which is true.
Right.
Which is true. Let's say now you were digging with your hands, and now you actually get a shovel. Obviously, that's gonna help, but it goes back to that for how long though. You know what I mean? Because you can get better tools and you can get, like all the help that you can actually want. A big example is like I mean, like me, like I wanted to be a professional singer, songwriter, perform everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I got a singer, instructor. I got help with a producer and this and that. So I got bigger tools to actually be able to make it, but not all the times it actually makes you get there. Um,
Yeah, that's
People are gonna tell me if you would have keep on pushing it, we probably could have done it. And yes, probably they're even right. But like I said, at this point where I am in life, I am happy with the decisions that I make and that I made, and that's what it's all about. And that's where I was getting at before. Don't quit on your goals. That's not my point. That's not my point. But make your own choices, make your own decisions. If you think, like going a different path, if you actually see opportunity and you actually grab it and you think that by grabbing that opportunity is going to make you happy and is the best solution at that particular point in time, take it. You know what I mean? Now, if you decide to keep on going for you, after your dreams, and that's gonna make you happy, then do it. Because technically, that's what's that's what making you happy. You making you happy, just the fact that you actually going after your dreams. So keep on doing it. But if you're not, if you get to a point that you actually not happy anymore, and you just keep doing it because you've been doing it for so long and you just want to get there already, that's a different um, subject technically. So.
Yeah. Um, Another comment, sure, money helps, but it's not really what makes you happy. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. Martin Roberts says Tiesto over everyone. Okay. Marty, what other questions do you have? I know you have some great questions. My mother is on, and she says success is being who you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. My aunt, another comment. I could be successful going to Africa and feeding the poor because that would make me happy. That is success. Okay. Dylan
Yeah,
Murphy's
that
on.
goes
Hey,
back
what's
to
up, Dylan? Don't make
Mr. Bonilla
decisions.
is watching.
We got a lot of people on here.
I know.
Ready? I'm sorry, guys. I'm scrolling through the comments right now. Let me just check it out. Okay. Some people are saying it takes patience, perseverance, and hard work to get to be successful, which is true. Absolutely. Let's get into another question. Um, Goals, right? You need goals to look forward to something. I
Be,
was
be,
going,
before you go into that, and you always ask the questions, I'm gonna ask you the question that Martin Robert is actually asking.
okay.
Do you think people are born salesmen or they are made into it?
Marty, that's a great question. I'm going to tell you something, and I know you're going to relate. Nobody in this fucking world decides
No
to
question.
be a car salesman. Growing up, do you say, I want to be a car salesman? I mean, Eduardo, did you ever think you were going to be in the car business?
Oh, not at all. And
I
I
don't
know
think
you're narrowing it down to car salesman because that's what we did, but I don't think anybody grows saying, "Oh, I'm 5 years old or 8 years old, and when I grow up, I want to be a salesman." Period. It doesn't matter what you sell. You know what I
the
mean?
I think the closest career that people could say was I would want to be a real estate agent, which is I could see people saying that. But
And it's still not even.
besides
It's still
that, I
not.
mean, brother
You
Marty,
might see that when you actually are like in the 20s, and you see
right?
that a lot of people are making money of it, and now the money is the motivation. So now you actually, but besides that, I mean, like, yes.
Marty, I started the business. I started the business with you. Me and Marty were in the same class to get hired for where I was going to start my career, and he told me a couple things about the business. Kind of went through one ear and out the other because he's been in it already. Some of the shady stuff or whatever it might be. And I was still green and I still wanted to fight through it and get through that class, and I did. And I have never been able to speak as well as I do to people so naturally, fluid. I mean, when you're put in front of a customer and you got to break the ice and make it feel comfortable. It's hard, and especially with Eduardo, you come from Peru, and you're English, you're learning new languages, and then you're put in
My
front of a
English is
customer
not
who
very
speaks
good looking.
no Spanish. You're put in front of a customer that speaks no Spanish, and then now telling him, okay, here, sell a car. And I know who had another problem with that, Diego, if he's still watching. Um, he's like off the boat. His English got a lot better, and his salesmanship, meaning his way to how do I say it? His way to talk to people got a lot better, a lot smoother. It's practice. Being a salesperson is practice.
And like I also said almost at the beginning, everybody sells something, and even when you try to be with a girl, you gotta sell yourself. If you
Yeah,
actually if you're
yeah.
applying for a job, you gotta sell yourself. You know what I mean? You sell every single day of your life. So everybody's a salesman. So going back to the question that, you either are born or made, everybody's born and made into a salesman since you are very young. Uh, you just don't even know it.
Yeah,
Now you get training and you get better at it, because everybody with training actually become one of the best sales people, even, like a shy guy. Because believe me, when I got into this business, I was super shy. I will
yeah.
not talk to anybody, to the point that when I actually went home and I told, hey, mom, I'm going to become a salesperson, she was like, how? You don't talk. How are you going to be selling? Like, you know what I mean? But everything is just what you put your mind into it. And if you're really serious about it, um, more or less, you're actually going to accomplish it.
Julie's comment says, I think it's a nature versus nurture. Okay, that's like a good way to see it. Let's see what
Hmm.
else people are saying. Martin Roberts said, good times. We definitely did have great times. Um, everybody decides. Cynthia Flores, is that one of your friends?
Yeah.
She said, everybody decides what kind of salesman you want to be. We are all kind of salesmen if you really think about it. And that goes back to what we were just saying. I actually put a post up on my Instagram and my Facebook probably a month or so ago. You guys could go check it out. My Instagram is Nick L. Cerami. Eduardo's, yours is.
Wow,
What
you're
is yours?
learning.
What is yours?
The one that I'm using more often right now is actually Eduardo Manuel Music.
Okay.
That's my Instagram. So
So everybody
that's the
follow him
one.
there. But going back,
Yeah.
I had to put a post up saying that everybody's a closer, meaning throughout your life, throughout everyday situations, are you the one closing somebody or are they closing you? So, for instance, I give you an example. If my little brother wants ice cream and it's 8 o'clock at night, you goddamn right he's gonna close her and he gets his ice cream.
Hmm.
That's closing and being sales. That's you're pretty much putting people together throughout your whole life, and whoever could do it the best is usually more
And the ice
successful.
cream vendor is going to tell you, I only have chocolate, even though he's got more flavors, but he's got a lot of chocolate. Now he's going to close you and sell you the
On
chocolate.
chocolate. Yeah. And whoever's selling him the ice cream at wholesale price is closing him. So it's just a vicious cycle of who's
Yeah,
closing who.
it is a cycle.
Yeah. Martin Roberts says, I think people are born into talents dictated by their environments. I'm a believer in predetermination. Okay, that's a good way to see it. I mean, everybody has a different view. Um,
I agree to a point. Yes, definitely. I'm like, if it's you gotta surround yourself with people that are trying to reach your same goal. That's the easiest way to actually make sure you accomplish it. You know what I mean? So on that part, yes, definitely.
going back to the episode that I had last week, if you guys watched it, it was about being the power of positivity and how to deal with negative things and negative people. Like he just said, an important factor is surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded. So if you're going to be successful and if you're going to be positive, that's the best
Hmm.
place to hang out with. Believe it or not, your friends determine who you are. Um,
Hmm.
it's sad to say because then I've had instances where I've had friends that do things that I would never do, and if I'm seen with them doing whatever they're doing, then I'm going to be seen as you know that negative side, which in all realness, you're probably I'm not. So it goes back to leave the negative people out of your life, stay with the people that are going to push you and move you forward. um, you know in the car business, there's a lot of positive people and then there's a lot of negative people, and you got to kind of
Yeah,
learn how to just float around it.
yeah. I mean, like, and that's why I said I agree to a point, because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, tell me who you're with, and I tell you who you are." That's not always true. I mean, it all depends, again, perception, because I can be with a group of people that actually do drugs, and technically, where I work, a lot of people do drugs. Does that mean that I do? I I don't. I'm not gonna throw anybody on the under the bus, but I'm just trying to make a point. You know what I mean? Not. That's why I say I agree to a certain point. There's also another quote that normally said, "Oh, if you're the smartest guy in the room, get out of that room." It's like, yes, it is true because you want to keep learning and um, becoming more knowledgeable every time. But do you have to get out of that room? Not really, because if you're actually touching those people and helping them, what will you actually get out of it? So
Yeah.
that was a strong comment, right? But
A
it's true.
comment
I mean, like,
says stay away from the cocaine addicts at work. Unfortunately, our business is flooded with cocaine. Marty says cocaine is a hell of a
but
drug.
it's just not just in the business. I mean, like, since I came to this country, came when I was 14. I went to high school. The first thing uh, somebody said to me without even saying hi, the guy was happy for some reason, and I was just walking through the hallway for the first time, looking for my locker room, and this guy was actually just going around offering weed to everybody. I don't know if he hit the lotto, or
He's a salesman,
he
brother.
just got laid or whatever,
He's
or
a
he was trying
salesman.
to promote his product. But that's the first thing that actually did. So it's all up to you when you actually do with the surroundings. It doesn't mean because you hang out with this guy that actually do drugs, it doesn't mean that you are one of them. And like, he might do drugs, but he might be actually a nice guy. And even if
Yeah,
he's not, maybe he's nice to you, and that's all you matters. You know what I mean? I don't care how you treat everybody else, as long as you respect me and you treat me the right way that I want to be treated, you cool with me. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
have nothing against you. I don't have to judge you for what you do. It's your life. You know what I mean? I might try to help you because that's in my nature. I try to help people and I like helping people, and that's why I train when I can. Uh, but yeah, I'm like, it's like I said from the beginning, everything is perspective. A lot of people have different points of view, and the sad part is that a lot of people base their points of view based on what everybody else says. They
right.
don't actually make their own point of view.
It's all
So
perception, brother. It's all perception. That's all it is. Julie has a great question. What goals are you working on now that will be driving your success into the future?
I mean, like right now, like I said, like we said in the beginning, I'm finalizing a course to actually become a certified finance manager. Um, Definitely, that's part of it. After that, obviously, become the best, or again, one of the best uh, finance manager where I work, because I know that's actually going to open more doors. You know what I mean? Become a GM or become a direct manager. That's again, the sky's the limit, but that's part of it. Eventually, I like I said at the beginning, I took a different path. I saw an opportunity and I took that, and it took me where I am today, and I'm happy about the decision. But on the other side, I never quit my goals, and it's still in the back of my head. So in the future, I might go back to music and like do what I love to do because I really love it and I really missed it. So but at this point, finance managers, that's what I'm becoming. That's what I am, and like
That's what's
that's
gonna
all I
get
have
you
right now. Just
to
be
your
better.
success.
Just get better. Just get better to onto what I'm doing right now.
You know, a couple of years ago, you had a quote that I really liked. Without goals, no, without what was it? What was it?
Without
Without goals,
without
there's without pl what was it? With no goals,
without
it's just dreams or something like that.
correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
goals, you're just
Without a plan, without a plan, they're not goals. They're just dreams.
right.
Because if you
Mhm.
don't have a plan, how you actually gonna get there? Because that's another thing. A lot of people may use goals. Oh, I wanna be the next Messi. Okay, do you train as much as he does? Do you actually, you know what I mean? What are you have to point? Is it possible? Yes, but you gotta start little by little, set goals that you actually accomplish um, each step at a time, and you see, uh, want it or not, everybody has limitations. So obviously, if you set the bar way too high, it might actually discourage you and got to the point that you might not even want to try it anymore. Instead of actually you setting the bars, progressively increasing it until you actually reach your limit. And again, goes back to the DJ thing. Is it Tiesto better or the other one is better? They're both great to you. Was it Afro? You said
Afrojack, yeah.
Afrojack is a better DJ. Uh, okay, does that make Tiesto not a good DJ? They're both good in their own way. You know what I mean? So it's this subject is so big. We can go all day
I
technically,
know.
but yeah, but you get my point.
Yeah. Again, guys, keep asking questions, commenting. We're gonna keep it going for a couple more minutes. Let's see what else you guys have to ask us. I want to thank everybody for coming, for watching us. I want to thank Eduardo for being here because he's in Texas right now. And you're in a hotel, right?
Yeah, I'm at the hotel right now.
Yeah, you're in a hotel.
Supposed to be doing homework.
Yeah. It's probably a lot of homework, right?
Yeah, especially for tomorrow. Yeah, but I got this.
Good, good, good. Let's see what other comments or questions that are in here. Um, Julie says hashtag real talk. Yeah, that's all we get on the drive, right?
Yep.
That's all we get. Martin Roberts says cocaine is a hell of a drug. In quotes, hashtag Rick James. Alrighty, well, I mean, we're coming to the end here. If you guys have any questions, please ask us. Okay, we got a question that just popped up. Eduardo, if you want to read that, go ahead.
Who do you look up to? Do you try to mirror or emulate yourself after someone? Uh, I do in a way.
Frankie.
I look up to obviously uh, my brother. Is a great inspiration. He's the hardest working man I actually known. So I do look up to him. Do I mirror him? I would be lying if I said I do because when he commits to something, he's way more persistent than I am. Um, it's just different personalities that we both have. I mean, like, so I can mirror him, but I do look up to him.
Marty says LOL. Adriana asks, who is your role model? I guess you just answered it. Is your brother, correct?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we're coming up to the last seconds of the
Well,
drive.
who is your role model?
My role model. Oh gosh. Um, my role model really is I have respect for anybody who has success in any business. I don't specifically look at one person and say I want to be like them. Now, I can't think of anybody that comes to mind right now. Um, I just admire people who've gone through what me and you have gone through to build up and get to that point of success where they're financially free or whatever it may be. And there's a bunch of different people that have done that. So I always look up to people who have their success because it just reminds me that I'm one step closer to getting to where I want to be. But now we have a lot of comments coming in.
Mhm.
um, We have Martin Robert asks what. Okay, that's a question that we should leave
Yeah,
out.
I'd rather know.
Uh, Julie says, "What skill do you have that helps you most in obtaining success?"
um, I don't know if it's a skill or not, but I don't let anything bother me. Um, and you see the way I work. I don't worry about anything else. I just do what I'm supposed to do and keep my head down and just keep going. Period. It doesn't matter if something horrible is happening right next to me. I don't let that bother me. I don't pay attention to that. I just keep doing what I'm supposed to do. And period. And I think that's um, I don't know if it's a skill, but that actually has helped me got to where I am right now.
All right. I'm gonna answer one last question from the comments, and then I have one last question myself. Let's see, Martin Robert. I'll revise this question a little bit. It says, considering that the turnover rate is 76% in the car business, what sets the 1% from, let's say, the top 10 or 20%? I mean,
And like he's talking about somebody in particular,
well,
and
how about this? Let's make it easier. How about the top the top real estate agents? What makes them, the 1% of them, different than the rest of the real estate agents with a 90% turnover rate in real estate? What's the difference between them and that? Let's bring it there.
um, it's funny that he's actually talking about that, and a lot of people can actually like the answer or not, or see it the way I see it or not.
It's the drive. Throw it
But
out there.
let's put it this way, all right? And it's funny that he's actually put that I saw a video a couple days ago that actually is gonna help me answer this. There's always two types of students on school, all right? You have the guy that actually always does his homework, all A's, top score, and like what every teacher wants him to be. All right. And there is the other guy that normally doesn't do his homework and doesn't do that, doesn't do this. It's about failing and everything. But he's got the most friends. Everybody likes him. When they're doing a test, nobody's supposed to go to the bathroom or anything. But this guy, he will go to the teacher, and the teacher, you know what? All right, make it quick. He gets away with it. Why? It's because his attitude and how people actually like him that actually sets him apart from everybody. You might have talent, you might actually be the best at what you're actually doing, but if you don't have the personality to multiply that, then you have nothing. Because if you multiply something by zero, you got zero. So you got something to actually make it to the next level, and that's a lot of times it's just the attitude and the personality.
Last question to wrap it up from Marty. Just one more, and that's it. This is a weird question. I mean, do you think it takes to be unethical in order to be 1% in any business? Or can you actually be ethical and achieve success?
It depends on the type of business you're looking at.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, let's leave that one open for discussion. I want to bring that. That's a good question. I'll bring that on our next episode. Hopefully, Martin
Yeah.
Robert will be the next one there to answer these questions.
I
But
mean, like,
last question.
yeah. I mean, like the way I will answer it, the way I will answer, a lot of people that are unethical, and there's the 1% that actually are successful. Good for them, they made it, whatever. But doesn't mean it's the only way to actually get there.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Last question,
So
Eduardo.
it's all about if you actually feel good on what you're doing. Period.
Last question. You ready for it?
Maybe.
Eduardo Manuel, finance manager, entrepreneur, mentor for me and a bunch of other people. What is your drive?
My drive, um, my vision. I'm like it's funny, but my drive actually I got it from a lot of movies that I see or that I've seen or that I watched. Um, because there is always an old guy asking for help. There's always a somebody elderly um, asking for money, not being able to actually support the family, not being able to pay for rent. Like 60 years old and they're cleaning tables, doing this. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be able to provide to my family for as long as I can, period. Make sure that when I get to that age, I don't have to have my son or my daughter actually take care of me or provide for me or be worried of how I'm actually gonna make it the next day. That's my drive, just to make sure that in the future, my family has a peace of mind that I'm good and that they are good as well.
Awesome. That wraps up episode number 4. It's almost about an hour. Um, that was a great talk we had. He's in Texas, finishing up his finance school. He'll be a finance manager on his way back to his store to start making the money he deserves. Um, this was a great episode. I want to thank everybody for coming out here, commenting. Man, we got a lot of comments, a lot of good questions. I mean, Marty, you got some great questions. I want to get to the dirty questions on another episode, and we'll put it all out there because that's what this is for. Um,
Yeah, and everybody that actually, all my friends that watch this, and all my customers that actually got to watch this, I really appreciate it. I wasn't actually expecting it. It was a beautiful surprise. So, and Martin, you are welcome.
Martin says, Eduardo, you're an inspiration. Keep up the good work. Awesome. Let's
Yeah,
wrap this up. I'd love to have you on another time. Um, you've been on the drive. Alrighty? Take care, guys. See you
I
later.
take care, man.